And that's why people don't like to be by themselves, because it gets them closer to themselves and what they're actually thinking and feeling. And the scary part about it is, welcome to Clown the Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Anel, and here we talk about all things healing, growing, and evolving in full transparency. And we're on episode 10. I'm always going to be shocked that I am on the next episode because I have a really bad habit of starting things that I don't finish. And I probably should stop saying that because I keep telling my subconscious this, and that's why I have like these consistent inconsistencies where I start these big things and I don't finish them. But I do finish what I start, and I do continue what I start because I'm doing it right now. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about outgrowing people while you are healing, growing, and evolving. So it shall be an interesting one, but let's get into the episode. So let's get into why the healing journey is so isolating and why you need to isolate. Number one, you are the only person who knows the answers to things. And if you're not by yourself in your own energy, you're constantly going to be distracted. I am here to tell you, you are going to be, everything around you is distracting. Because if it's another person, you're operating on what frequency they on, and then if you're like me, you consume all type of energies, which is very hard to like not do, but you naturally do. So when you're around these other people, you tend to have a rough time and internalize all those energies because you think that it's all you. Even if it's partially you, it's not all you. Okay? You're not tripping. People do be vibrating low, all right? But that's why you need to isolate, because if you are by yourself and in your own energy, all you have to do is listen to yourself. You are the only thing you have, and that's why people don't like to be by themselves, because it gets them closer to themselves and what they're actually thinking and feeling. And the scary part about it is you may not know what to do when you actually figure out what is wrong with you or what you are trying to get at when it comes to really changing your life or how you feel about a certain situation. That is very scary. However, it is very necessary. And you can try to, I'm not saying you can't heal when you are with other people, but the most effective way is to be in isolation. I have this really bad tendency to over-isolate. Actually, I have been hiding from the world for the past week because I just get in these random moods where I just leave and disappear, and then I just come back. And not that something is always necessarily wrong, I just don't have anything to say sometimes. And that is an odd truth. Okay, just because I talk on here almost every single week for 20 minutes, almost 20 minutes straight, sometimes I have nothing to say. Yeah. But also, on the other hand, you are going to feel isolated because you got to understand that you are developing a level of awareness that everybody is not on. Everybody is not trying to get to the root of why they feel the way that they feel, why their life is the way that it is, and what they're going to do about it. The moment you feel like irritated by everybody and all of a sudden you just don't want to be around, it is a good indication that you are on the right track and that you are entering a level of awareness where you are actually going to change something about yourself, whether that's physically, mentally, or spiritually. Alrighty? So don't be feeling too bad for or feeling FOMO because things are just not interesting to you anymore. Like sometimes you don't want to go out. You don't want to be around people. You don't want to do the things that you normally do because your spirit is just wanting to be by itself, and that is okay, which is great. To me, I'm infatuated with isolation. I think it's actually unhealthy at some point because I can go days upon days without talking to people and not feel like lonely or anything. It's quite interesting. I've spent days just in my own energy, and it's just great. Like I don't have to worry about how people are feeling, what are people gonna say, because I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I think it's just a trauma response, honestly. of feeling like this is just safe for me to be in this isolation. But yeah, it is going to feel very isolating, and like you are going crazy and you're just irritated by every soul, for sure. I know that this topic, or at least my points for today, are going to be all over the place, but they're all going to connect, okay? Because here everything is a mess, but it makes sense. So I tried to do 3 different points so it can be within the same topic, but it's actually different perspectives on different things. Let me just walk with me, okay? Just give me a second. I'm gonna get into it, okay? The next thing I really want to talk about is grieving people that are very much alive. It's actually the craziest feeling to feel like someone died, but they're actually still alive, because you're dead in the sense of, like, figuratively, you're dead because you're not in my life anymore. And I had this expectation that you were going to be in my life for a long time, and you're not. So I have to, like, grieve the fact that I made so many plans and memories of you being in it. And pause. That does not cut it out. I made so many plans for you to be in my life, and now I have to unlearn how to stop thinking about that because you are no longer in my life. Now, when breakups happen, whether that's romantic or platonic or whatever type of relationship you broke off and you are trying to heal from, it is going to feel like someone died. Legit. Now, look, I'm not saying that it's the same thing as someone actually dying. Can I say that on YouTube? I really don't know if I can say that on YouTube. But listen, it's so weird to feel like you're alive, but you're not alive. You're not here anymore, but you're still here. You know? It's a lot on the brain, especially for me. Because I've lost a lot of people in my life. Not in the deceased department, thank God. But in terms of falling out with people and just not having these relationships anymore, yeah, I think I had to experience that early in life of just constantly outgrowing people. And sometimes I think, like, there's people that have known each other and have been in each other's lives for like a decade, 8 years, like so much long time. They have like these long friendships or the long relationships, and sometimes I'm like, is there something wrong with me where like I just can't be around certain people for such a long time, or is it that I'm really actually growing and evolving? And I had to come to terms that like I am just a different being. Like, I'm not meant to be the same, and life kind of happened a little bit earlier for me. So it just causes for people to not be in my life anymore. And honestly, it doesn't even get me sad anymore. It doesn't. I'm kind of just used to it because it's just constantly just happening. And the things that people do just don't surprise me anymore, fam. Like, oh, you too? Oh, okay. Moving on, you know? And if anything, people show me more about who I am and how I'm able to care for people rather than who that person is. But also, back to the grieving part, is you don't meet somebody and say, yeah, when we like break up or when we stop talking, yeah, like that's gonna be sad. Like, you don't plan to like not have somebody in your life anymore. You can have the feeling like, I know this person's not gonna be in my life forever, so you know, this is for razzle dazzle and a little bit of, you know, jazz. But there are some people that you really do believe and feel like they're gonna be in your life for a very long time, because nothing is forever, okay? But you do feel like that for certain people, and I think that it's very normal to feel like, wow, you're gone. And for me, when I fall out with people, I never see them again, ever. We can live 10 minutes apart, go to the same work at the same job, be friends with the same people. I guarantee you, I have never met or have seen the people I've fallen out with ever again. From the moment I fall out with them, I never, ever see them again in real life. And at first I used to think that's crazy, but also it probably just means I just learned my lesson and we are not going to cross paths anymore. I literally won't see them. I won't at all, which is a blessing because I don't ever want to see you again at all. Actually, I have no desire. At first I do grieve the part of me that actually cared for those particular people, but also it's never my fault. And listen, you may be thinking, oh, no, so you're perfect. No, maybe a little bit I am, but I am not somebody who treats people disgustingly. You know what I mean? Like, it's never something that I do. Maybe it's something that in the way that I've reacted or something like that, but it's never my loss. Like, it's never my loss. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's why it'd be real quick and real easy to just cut somebody off, because I just see it as people come and go. Like, you ain't the first disappointment, you ain't about to be the last one. But we're gonna talk about cutoffs in another episode, okay? Yeah, thank you. On to the next point, which is people are gonna disappoint you. They are. You have to get used to being disappointed in life. It sounds backwards and very negative, but it's the actual truth. If you get used to people disappointing you, you are more than likely going to deal with adversity very well. And I'm not saying that in the sense of just expect the worst. But you kind of have to, because you can plan and plan and plan, but it's not going to go in the way that you think. But people are going to disappoint you in many different ways. So when you do start feeling like you need to isolate and you're grieving certain things and you start falling out with certain people, the energy you're going to get back is going to be very disappointing, because people are not going to understand. People aren't going to understand why you are acting the way that you're acting. And for starters, it is not your responsibility to constantly explain yourself to people. You don't owe nobody nothing, and nobody owes you nothing. I think people forget that. Like, no one owes you shit. No one. And you actually owe it to the universe. Do you know that? Do you understand that? So, once you come to terms with that, you're not going to constantly want to over-explain, because it's actually nobody's business. Nobody needs to know all the work that you're doing for yourself, because at the end of the day, this is your own journey. And it's going to be disappointing to see that people can't see how you're trying to do something better for yourself. Practically by yourself. If you believe in a higher power, then that's you. You know, here we believe, okay? But people are going to disappoint you in how they react to how you are taking this serious. And that is just the truth. You know I keep it 1,000 on here, okay? I am not here to lie to you. I'm not. You are going to be very disappointed. That's it, not all for that, okay? I feel like I went through this really, really fast, but also I'm getting way better at recording, so that's why it feels like I'm breezing through this, okay? I am breezing through these episodes because I'm getting better. Practice makes perfect. Yeah. Let's get into today's boundaries baddies tip, and if you don't know what that is, I basically give you unsolicited advice after every episode, and you take it or leave it. I am here to tell you the honest truth, okay? So, today's boundaries baddies tip is, when you're in your healing journey, you are doing this for you. Forget about who you're gonna lose, who's not gonna support you, who's not gonna be there. Everybody cannot come to where you're going, and that's why this is happening, okay? If you remain with the same things that you just hold on to near and dear and you want change, it is not going to happen, because you are going to be in a cycle of... It is impossible to literally change or have change in your life if you literally have the same things. It don't make no type of sense. You literally cannot wear the same clothes from when you were a baby till when you're an adult, because obviously your body changed. It's literally the same thing. You cannot have the same things, the same people, to get a different life. That's it, and that's all. Okay, and if you struggle with change and dealing with massive change in your life, this is going to be very hard for you. I'm not gonna lie, I was somebody that really craved and desired change so badly, but I hated change. I hate it. Now I actually like it because I know that something better is coming. But you need to understand why. You're gonna later understand why the change is happening and why it needed to happen. And you're gonna be like, oh, that's why that happened. That's why this. It's gonna make sense, twin. You just gotta see it through, okay? That is it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope it all makes sense. I really do be hoping it all makes sense, and I hope you actually are entertained. Oh my god. Entertained. Do you say entertained? Because it's spelled entertained, but it's entertained. I'm entertained. Isn't that crazy how it sounds like an I, but it's really an E? I don't know. Make sure you are liking this video, because I will find you. I will like the video. Please! It'll help me out. With that being said, make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you turn on your post notifications so you get notified every time I upload a new video. But most importantly, make sure you're doing it for yourself every single day. Bye!